Hey there, thanks so much for joining me. We're going to dive right in because I know your time is valuable. 2016 has just been a ridiculous year. I've had the opportunity to work side by side with Gary Keller, who turned Keller Williams into the largest real estate company in the world, and his co-author, Jay Papasan. They co-authored the best-selling book, The One Thing, together. And they've been my direct mentors over the past year as I work on turning the one thing into a productivity empire. I'm shooting this for you right now because I want to take the top 3 things that have just completely disrupted my mindset and taken my results and my performance to the next level. I'm going to walk you through some of that right now because I really want to shift your mind in terms of what's possible when you think through a few of these models. The first thing that I learned comes down to limiting beliefs around yourself and scaling everything that you do into a bigger opportunity. I want you to think back to a time when you had a job or a company and you weren't happy, and ultimately you left. If it was a job, why did you ultimately choose to leave that company? If it was your company, ultimately, why did you choose to make a change? It always comes down to one thing, which is the reason that top talent ever leaves any company is because there comes a day where everything they could possibly want in their world, they can no longer perceive possible to have inside the world of that company. Think about a time, if for those of you business owners out there, a time where a talent left you, one of your employees left you. It came because one day they woke up and said, you know what, I can't have everything I could possibly want inside this company's world. So here's an example. If this represents you, this represents me, and this represents your best friend. Let's say this circle represents everything that you could possibly want out of your life. This is everything I could possibly want in my life, and this is everything that your best friend could possibly ever want in their life. Notice that they're all the same size. Is there any way that you can have me step into your world and have everything that I could possibly ever want while you still having everything you could possibly want? Not possible when your world is this big, and vice versa. There's no way your best friend could step in. At the end of the day, no one succeeds alone. The way you get to the top is by being able to build an empire, and you don't do that alone. You do that with other people. So how do you get top talent to not only come into your world, but to stay? This is the first thing that just blew me away. You have to give yourself permission to allow your world to get so big so that a guy like me can step into your world and I could have everything that I could possibly ever want and still be inside your world. There's still abundance. And your best friend, they can step into your world and they can have everything they could possibly ever want in life inside your world, and there is still abundance. And guess what happens? Every time you recruit talent to step into your world is able to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You're seeing this because you're a business owner. You're seeing this because you're already crushing it in your career. Getting to that next level is about mastering the skill of doing and accomplishing things through others. In order to truly maintain the top talent, though, you have to become a master of expanding your world. This has been the first thing for me. The way it manifested itself is not only what I'm doing with the company with the one thing, but also what I'm doing with the Mentee podcast. What started out, we'll use the back page of this. What started out, we'll take it off. What started off just as a podcast, the Mentee, eventually my world got bigger. And I was able to have a 6-figure business on the back end of the Mentee. But now my focus has shifted to the point where I'm becoming the face and running the business of the one thing. Yet this is still here. This is still valid. I don't want this to go away. So I've had to ask the question, how can I allow my world to get so big that someone else can step in as the next mentee? and run the show with me as one of the primary mentors? And how can I allow my world to get so much bigger that someone else can step in and run the six-figure business behind the mentee and even scale that out, all alongside while I'm over here just applying mentorship and value? This is scale. This is how empires get built. So that is number one. For you, how can you start applying this today? How can you start giving yourself permission so that you can allow your world to get so big that somebody else can step in? Here's the second thing. And it comes down to priority. How do you start taking action in order of priority? If I were to look at your calendar right now, would I be able to very easily tell you what your most important work is and what you're getting done? For most people, the answer is no. So if you're not that person, totally okay. Here's where I'm coming from though. We've all heard of a to-do list. We all have this laundry list of things that we need to get done, right? How do you decide what you do first? What often ends up happening when you have a to-do list is you just start checking off the ones that are the easiest to do, because then you can just cross it off the list. One of the things that I've learned to do though is turn my to-do list into a success list. And the way you do that is you apply priority to it. You say, if I can only do one, just one on this whole list, I'm only allowed to do one. What is the one that I'm going to do first? Now, assuming I get that done, what do I then have permission to go and do? What's the second thing that I would get done? Out of this whole list, I've already gotten the most important one done. What's the second one I can get done? All right, that's number 2. Well, how about 3, 4, 5? You apply priority to this list and you take action in order of priority. This is really simple in principle. In practice, it is very, very difficult. I'll prove it right now. If I held a gun to your head metaphorically and said, you can only do one thing today. What is the one thing you can do today such that by doing it makes everything else easier or unnecessary for your business or for your personal life? You only get to do one to move your business forward. What is that going to be? That one single action. I'll tell you today, for me personally, I know exactly what my one thing is. Yet here I am recording this video for you because I know this is important, but I'm also very consciously aware of the fact that I'm taking action on priority number 3, and I haven't taken action on priority number 1 yet. I'm doing this out of urgency because I know my team is waiting for this video, but it's not my highest leverage work. You truly become a master of your time. You truly become a more productive person when you start applying priority and you take action in order of priority. Now again, I'm going to give you permission to fail here. I live this stuff. I've been living it for a year. I'm developing a productivity company around it, and I'm still not perfect. By example of the fact that I'm shooting this video for you right now. The difference is I am very consciously aware that I am making a choice to act out of priority now because there's urgency involved. And the only reason that there's urgency involved was because at one point in time, I did not plan my schedule correctly, which that is the third thing. Planning. I heard a quote a long time ago that failing to plan is planning to fail. Do you, at the start of your week or at the end of the previous week, look out and say, what are the biggest things that I need to accomplish this next week? And then you put them in order of priority, and then you actually schedule them on your calendar. That's why I asked you at the beginning, if I was to look at your calendar right now, would I be able to clearly see your most important activities for the week? For most people, that answer is no. So on that success list, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. You had the most important priorities, right? Now if I were to look at your calendar, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We were to divide it up. And this is just the week. And if this was early, this is AM, this is lunch, afternoon, and this is PM. Would I be able to clearly see you having blocked off, hey, Monday in the morning, I'm going to take care of priority 1. I'm going to take care of priority number 2 here. I'm going to take care of priority number 3 here. I'm going to take care of priority number 4 here. Priority number 5 here. Would I be able to actually see it on your calendar, time blocked, which is what we call it, time blocking, the act of scheduling appointments with yourself to do your most important work? Or would I look at your calendar and see a bunch of miscellaneous meetings and tasks? When I first started, that's all you would have seen. Meeting with this person, marketing meeting, go to dentist, call Amazon back, call this person. They were to-dos. That's not the purpose of your calendar. The moment I got intentional about applying priority to my life, getting very clear on what the highest leverage actions are that I could take, and then I opened my calendar, wiped the slate clean, and scheduled my most important work first, I started getting more done in less time. This is everything. And this is really just scratching the surface of it. But I go over these 3 things at a very high level for you because I want you to understand these 3 things have shifted my mind tremendously. Every single day I'm looking at how do I give myself permission to make my life bigger so I can recruit in the next mentee, and I can recruit in an operations manager, and I can recruit in this person. All of a sudden, that empire for the mentee is being built without me. How much of your business is being built on your back when it could be built faster and better through others? How can you instantly take your productivity through the roof by simply applying priority and then planning, time blocking your time? If you were to just apply these 3 things, you would see tremendous growth in your business without question. There are going to be some of you, however, who are going to want to go even deeper, who are going to recognize this is just the beginning. We are just scratching the surface, and you're going to want more. We are doing an event here in Austin. It's going to be a small, intimate mastermind that is application only. It's going to be very high level. It's not for most people. The only people that this is for is if you are a serious business owner or you're doing extremely well in your career and you recognize you need to get to that next level and you're just not sure how to get there yet. A small group of us are going to come together and we are going to dive deep into your business and talk about some of the habits and tactics that I have been learning from millionaires and billionaires that I'm applying in my business. You will leave with an actual plan to take your business to that next level. If you're interested, below this video is a link to speak with my head of operations, Evan. He can tell you more about the event and see if it's a fit for you. But for most people, it's not going to be. But I want to put that up front. We are not taking just anyone. You have to be the right fit. At the end of the day, though, we want to find ways to add value to you. So I would encourage you to get on the phone with Evan. That way we can learn more about you, where you are in your business, and what's really holding you back. If the event happens to be a good fit for you, then he would end up connecting you directly with me so I can vet it even further and see if it's a mutual fit. But only if it is a fit would that happen. So I encourage you to click the button below, sign up for a time with Evan. And outside of that, I hope this helps you. This has been truly life-changing for me. And I sit here and say this to you with 100% conviction and sincerity. Please take action on that. I really appreciate you and your time, and we'll talk soon.